Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Gregory Martin, aka the Super Producer. Here we review movies, TV series, discuss filmmaking tips, and entertainment news. If that's something that's interesting to you, please don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to ring that bell. It keeps you notified whenever I post a new video, and it also helps the channel grow. And with that being said, let's just jump right into today's review. And today we're reviewing the Netflix movie, The Devil All the Time. This movie is directed by Anthony Campos and has an all-star cast, which includes Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, Sebastian Stan, Jason Clarke, and Haley Bennett, to name a few. Now, the title, The Devil All the Time, is a very strange way to title a movie. When I first saw this thumbnail on Netflix, the first things that kind of came to my mind, it really invoked thoughts of evil, something demonic. And after watching this movie, those thoughts were definitely not misplaced. So the movie's about a young man who is devoted in protecting his loved ones in a town that is full of corruption and sinister characters. And there are a bunch of just sinister and evil people in this town. From a dirty sheriff to a couple who picks up hitchhikers and kills them. We also have a cult leader who thinks that God has given him the ability of resurrection, and so he murders his wife thinking that he can resurrect her later. And we also have a preacher who is having sex with underage girl. And when you think the movie can't get more up, it does. This movie does not give you a break on that front at all. You are on the edge of your seat every moment from scene to scene. Everything is happening so fast that one thing happens and it bleeds right into the next scene that's just equally as up. And we see at the end this huge crossover with all the characters. The young man is played by Tom Holland, and it's pretty interesting to see him play this role. I haven't seen any of Tom Holland's work outside of the Spider-Man or the Marvel Universe. So it was very interesting to see him play this type of character. And I know traditionally speaking, maybe not so much as of late, but it's usually really hard for these he's not really a child actor, but these actors who go and do these big franchises to really be respected as thespians, just real actors, because we just see them as these either superheroes or these larger than life characters that we don't really expect them to be able to act on like more of a smaller stage, because they have this bigger stage for so long. So it's really good to see people like Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson going from these major franchises to being respected actors. And this film for Tom Holland is something that I was not expecting to see him in, and he was excellent in this role. He plays a character who is no saint himself, but in the midst of a town that has all these sinister, evil characters and people in it, he plays the one person who is who's not necessarily evil, who has at least a moral compass to want to do the right thing. There are a lot of great performances in this film, but the best performance by far was that of Robert Pattinson. Like, he does it again. I said it in Tenet, and I'm saying it here. He is like a bona fide movie star, and he does such a great job in this role that he plays. Like, it's crazy to me how these British actors come to the States in these films and nail this American accent. But it was much more than that. It was a very specific accent that he went with. Like, it was a little bit southern. He had a little drawl, but it wasn't like Alabama South. It was like kind of like, I don't know, I would say like maybe like a not like a South Carolina accent or something like that. Like, not like I'm an accent expert or anything like that, but his accent was just very layered. His performance is very layered. He plays the role of this out-of-town preacher, and like I said earlier, it's discovered that he's actually having sex with these underage girls. But it was masterful just watching him perform this. Like, it was like when he first started seducing the young girl, the sister of Tom Holland's character. It's creepy. It's like cringeworthy. You're like, you just like, you're watching it and you're just kind of like hoping that it doesn't go the way that you think it's gonna go. But with everything that's happened earlier in the film, you pretty much know that, you know, he's gonna have this girl get undressed, he's gonna have his way with her. But just his entire embodiment of the character, from the accent, from the wardrobe, just the setting in this rural town, it all played a part in forming his character. But he just took it to another level with his performance. The performance just made it so much more plausible that, yes, this guy, this particular character, was able to manipulate these girls to doing whatever he wanted under the guise that this is the Lord's will, that they do these things to this preacher. Like, it was sickening, it was cringeworthy, it was everything you would expect from this interaction, but it was also brilliant from an acting perspective. It also made it a little bit more satisfying when Tom Holland's character blows his brains out also on the church floor. But it was another great performance by Robert Pattinson. And maybe it's early. I mean, he's had at least a 10-year career at this point. I think he's on his way to become a really renowned actor. If he keeps picking the right roles and doing these very interesting characters, he's gonna find himself in that rarefied air where you hear, you know, the Marlon Brandos, the Al Pacinos, I can't think of the other guy's name, Daniel Day-Lewis. Like you're gonna hear him in these conversations, because he's just been killing these last like 3-4 years, like hands down. Well, that is my review of The Devil All the Time. A really good movie, definitely worth a watch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found the review helpful. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, guys, I will see you on the next one.